guys, this video is going to be a little bit different. As you can see by the title, I'm going to be analyzing my first ever attempt at painting, which happens to be a landscape that you see in front of you. So right off the bat, what's glaringly obvious is that I had no idea what I was doing. You could see it looks like a first attempt, very bad. Start with the clouds up there. You can see I had no idea how to get the paint to interact properly with the canvas. I did not have enough paint loaded on the fan brush, so basically when you buy a Bob Ross kit, there's a little booklet with instructions on how to paint one of his paintings. There's an example, and if you look at mine and you look at the one that comes with it, um, maybe I'll put it up, you can see there is pretty much zero resemblance, but I mean, what do you expect for a first attempt? Maybe some people can get it a lot better on a first attempt, but just reading from the booklet and trying to follow along, it was pretty difficult. There's a big learning curve where you have to learn how the brushes work, how to load them, the strokes, the pressure, all that stuff to use. Also, you can see I have very little concept of perspective and depth and detail. The evergreen tree, the big one right there, I pretty much tried to draw it on, which isn't the right way to do it. But you can see I just dragged the fan brush along and made triangle shapes, and then I tried to put a trunk in the middle, which is also pretty bad. And the highlights, I didn't understand that you have to thin the paint to get it to stick to the thicker base coat. So the yellow highlights there didn't really come off right, and you can also see that in the bushes underneath. I tried to put some orangish ones that didn't work out right. Also, there's really no form. Again, that little island all the way in the back, you can see it really lacks form and detail. It is darker, and it should be lighter than what's in front. The water lines also very difficult. I still have some trouble with those, even after painting for about 4 months. Um, you use liquid white for that with the palette knife, and you scrape them in. What else? So basically, yeah, the brown squiggly lines up front there in the bushes, those are supposed to be sticks. They look very juvenile. The mountains are one of the harder things to do when you're first learning. So you can see that the outline is not that great, like the peaks and the shapes of that. And then my highlights, I just pretty much smeared them on because I couldn't get the paint to break at all. And even after watching a lot of episodes of Bob Ross, which I've watched over the years, and it's one thing when you're watching just as to pass the time, but then when you really want to pay attention to learn from it, you think you watch episode after episode and you think you can do it, but understanding something in theory and then um, trying to leave the theoretical realm and translate that to the practical realm are two completely different levels of understanding. So when you actually attempt to do it, at least for me, this is what I ended up with, and I'm sure it could be worse. As a first painting, I've never painted before this. I am artistically inclined. I have drawn a lot in the past and stuff, but painting's a whole different animal because you have to learn the brushes and the way the way that they work, and you're not, your medium isn't a sharp pointed pencil that you have all this control over. It's a bunch of hairs that you drag through paint and then try to make definite shapes and things with. So that's a learning curve. You can see my sky really lacks, it's just one flat color. The water, you could see it's not blended right. You can see the lines still in it, the brush strokes there, because I started in the middle instead of starting from the outside and pulling in. And then, yeah, that was my first attempt. I didn't understand blending overall. And again, I watched episode after episode, and you think that it's going to be easy because he makes it look so easy, but it's really not. As you can see by my signature, even that looks, like a very young child did it. And a lot of people kind of look down on this wet on wet technique because they think it's a cop out, it's easier. and maybe it might be easier, but you still have to dedicate a lot of time to perfecting it, which I have not, am not anywhere close to doing. But it is very fun. It is sort of forgiving, and if you check out some of my other paintings in my other videos, I recently made a video of my certain paintings I've done up to this point, so my progress is there. You can see that I have made quite a bit of progress, and I don't really try to copy anything anymore. In the beginning, I was trying to emulate his paintings, but now I just sort of sit down and let my mind just wander, and usually what results is pretty good, in my opinion at least. So yeah, that's my first painting. That's my critique of it. It looks pretty bad, and um, I'm glad I didn't get discouraged though, and I kept at it up to this point. I've had a lot of downtime recently, so utilizing it in that way, doing something productive is always great, and that's what I have to say about that. So check out my other videos, painting videos, piano videos, and ragtime and all that stuff. And if you could like, share, subscribe, I appreciate that, and thanks for watching.